Mhm. What do I think is the best place to find commissions as a digital illustrator? No idea. I don't work commissions, so don't have any idea where people go about those things these days. That's the problem when you kind of fall out of it all. You really don't have any, you know, I don't really have any help to offer on that one. Like back in the day, at least, I would have said, I go on Twitter, just open up commissions there. People will sooner or later come to you. Problem is, Twitter now is a piece of shit site that suppresses posts like crazy. And then they have the fucking gall and audacity to ask us to pay a subscription. Yeah, sure. I didn't hear anything you said, Linda. The what? Kara? That one's filled with artists, yeah. But, you know, the problem with that is, it's filled with artists. I, yeah. They're not searching for somebody to make them a commission there. Yeah. Like Kara is a great thing concept, but yeah. But it's like that one feels more like ArtStation-y type, whereas like, for like general professional work. And commissions tend to do better on places where you have a quick turnaround. Like, no. Yeah. Yeah, Twitter is dead. That's why I keep wiping my account there, just kind of to be ready for the point where inevitably I'm just gonna go like, yeah, alright, we're done. I have a thing called tweet deleter, so I just run it every few months, clean up everything, and then, fuck around with the site until it all comes tumbling down under the immense weight of peerless leadership. Have I been using Blue Sky? Yeah, it's kind of still a dead zone, really. Then again, everything has been dead zone. It's gotten to the point where I've genuinely been considering just abandoning social media altogether and just kind of going like, hey, if you want to find me here, it's my Patreon, and just, want to talk, see you there, because it really is a dead place, like people use social media for all kinds of reasons. I use it because I like to kind of, chat with people, and I like to, see people's comments and reply, at least like them. But I guess the culture of it also kind of died. So at this point, people just kind of scroll without ever interacting, and at some point, you're starting to feel like it's a dead internet. Has anything replaced DeviantArt yet? No, not really. Like, currently I'm just kind of keeping my main stuff generally updated on, what's it called, Pixiv, but even that's kind of a complete shit show of a dead place for me. Like, you post a thing, you get 5 comments in 6 months, like, why bother? So I'm probably gonna nuke that place as well. honestly the most active place by far. Like that's not even a comparison. Has been freaking what's it called? Instagram. Instagram has actual people actually commenting. So now the fucked up part about Instagram is it's completely artist unfriendly with its weird limited formatting of images, and at the same time, you can't do not safe for work. So, but at least people show up there and actually comment. And the funny thing is, like, it's not even for me, like a matter of, it's like, oh, it's for the algorithms. Oh, no, I just miss people talking. Like, Jesus Christ. Everybody gets real loud when it's time to shit on something, but when it's time to just be a person, it's just like crickets. What brush do I use? Just kidding. I mean, my brush is literally a default one. The only changes I did to it were just kind of messing around with amount, density, and color. I've actually had people ask me that often for this program. Like this one, like 90% of the work I do here is just one single brush, and it's the gouache one. Just because it's kind of already preset with color mixing. That's one of the big things about Clip Studio. It's color mixing. It's just, yeah. Internet got too, not just too toxic. Internet got too fucking cynical. Like everybody's too excited when they find something that they don't like. But the moment it's something that they are actually excited about, like genuinely that they like, they shut the fuck up about it immediately. It's fucking surreal. Then later they're like, why did it get cancelled? Why did it shut down? I'm like, I have a thought. We are in the bad timeline. Yes. This is for my novel Letters to the Vampire Queen. Yeah. Somewhere in between all the comics, I decided I would write a novel. And I am right now about 300 pages into it. We've reached about first half of it. There's an actual professional recorded audiobook sample on my YouTube here. It's gonna be quite the journey. What layer did I... Oh my god. Of course. The eternal confusing question. Which layer am I on? Edit, cut. Edit, paste. Yeah, the finished book one is gonna be like about 600 to 700 pages, depends on like the final rewrite of how much I can trim it down, because I'm trying not to get it to just fucking bloat. My big thing is like I want it to read. I want people to have a really large novel that they go like, wait, it's done already. That's the dream. When the novel is so nicely paced and exciting and rhythmical that you can actually Yeah, and so far it's been very good. I've had people listen to the first 10 hours of the 10 hours of the audiobook and go like, "Holy shit, this is the fastest 10 hours I've ever had in my life," which to me is a massive fucking compliment. So I'll take it. It's a novel about a very corrupt city that once had a golden age when it was ruled by a vampire queen. But according to the legends, vampire queen then enacted a genocide and they dethroned her. They cast her out. They've banished her and killed her and whatever the fuck not. And now anybody who even considers summoning the vampire queen back, which is usually women who are into other women because the queen was, shall we say, femininely inclined, uh, are basically colored in this metal called blood silver that's near unbreakable. It's like mithril that repels vampires, basically. And that way they're prevented from ever contacting the queen. And the city lives by its own fucking lore. The city lives by its own mythology that they've built around their rebellion about the queen, about everything. But turns out the whole thing may just be a big old fucking lie, and there's a very dark secret hidden below the city right now that's clawing its way out. And meanwhile, one of the main protagonists, Lysandre, ends up getting herself caught. She's this orphan child of the city that, you know, grows up into this woman who worked for a noble family where she ended up falling in love with the Duchess at the time, young Duchess, who was basically betrothed to marry a prince of the region. And so it was a doomed romance to begin with, even progressively more so when they get caught and she is sentenced to be collared. So once she's collared, she basically becomes shunned by the city, but also a prisoner of the city of sorts. She can't leave it. So within the boundaries of that city, she kind of makes a life for herself, finds some friends, finds some allies, this, that, and the other, and then the murders start. Somebody very dear to her is killed, and she vows her vengeance on the city by swearing that she will bring back the Vampire Queen. And she has the means for it because she steals the shard of Vampire Queen's soul mirror. It's basically the only mirror that a vampire can be reflected in. It's formed when a spirit that is a vampire in this world basically crosses into our world. It's like a hole in time space, basically. It just kind of solidifies and there you go. It's an unbreakable mirror. So she takes a piece of that mirror, deciding that she's going to first destroy it because that mirror is also part of city's protection because it has basically the aura of a greater vampire, of an elder vampire. No other creature of the night will go near the city, so they are considered to be a very safe vampire-free city. No bad things, It's actually the fucking cornerstone of their economy because they have this ritual in which they will take small mirrors and have them reflect the vampire mirror, and by that get blessed and be used as a vampire repellent. So there's a big thriving business in this city where they sell vampiric protection. And so she steals that mirror and she's about to toss it off into this basically pit, into this abyssal maw of swirling rivers, never to be found again. However, then she realizes that through that mirror she can see into the other world in which she happens to actually find the Vampire Queen. And now she has to find a way how to communicate with her. Hence the title, Letters to the Vampire Queen. It's gonna be wild. How long did it take me to finalize the main plot? I've outlined the plot about 2 years ago, made the full outline, but had to do some small rewrites and everything. Like I was still figuring stuff out. Like this was my first attempt. So yeah. Now it's kind of an automatic process. Now I'm just writing. Now I'm enjoying myself every day. I'll sit down and I'll do a few pages, or I'll do some notes and stuff, and it just keeps progressing. Hoping to basically get it done next year and just do a crowdfunder for that, just because it's a fun little side project for me. Yeah, the skirt chasers, the night blossoms, the night lusts. No, usual mirrors in that world are made of different types of glass with different types of coating behind. Uh, but the actual mirror is just basically a shard of unmatter. It's like fucking spiritual residue of thing that is completely unbreakable except by one way, and that's how it got shattered in the beginning. So, funny that you say that, Henke, because like the initial concept for the letters to the Vampire Queen was it was a story that Lisa is supposed to write in Sunstone. It's actually her first published novel. But since I have to have her write about it in Mercy, I wanted to have a consistent idea that she would go through. Because she goes through this kind of self-loading time when she wants to write a vampire novel, but it's like, oh my god, that's so cliche. I want to write a vampire novel. So she can't fucking process that, right? But in the end, like she can't fight her own nature, so she does start writing that, and that's the novel that she writes. And I had to figure out a story because every now and then through the what's it called uh, Mercy arc, we are going to be in the later part of it. We're going to be spending some time with Ali and Lisa as well to see we're gonna see how their relationship progresses past the initial five books of Sunstone. And we see that Lisa is obsessing about the novel. So she's gonna be mentioning things from it. She's gonna be mentioning, stuff that kind of needs to have a coherent sense. So, I kind of had to figure out the basic plot for it, what it would be for Sunstone. The problem is when I figured out the basic plot for it, I was like, shit, this is actually good. So I was like, crazy idea. What if I actually wrote the novel? Simple. World building next level. And funny thing is, going back to what you said, Henke, so an updated version would be DMs and voice chats with the Goth E-Queen. One of Melissa's big uh, inspirations for writing that novel is Letters to the Vampire Queen is her communicating through this mirror with this chick on the other side that they can't see face to face. That's kind of inspired with how she met Ali. This is basically something she writes before she writes Sunstone. That's the core idea, was basically her taking the this whole concept of them communicating and seducing each other online. Then she carries that into the novel, because that's literally what Lysandra has to do. She has to seduce the queen with her letters and little gifts. Now, in this world, the explanation for vampires and mirrors is the fact that vampires in this world are basically spirits from another world that cross over, gaining physical form. Now, the problem is they still aren't creatures of this world. This is actually why they have to drink blood to basically ground themselves in this world. Otherwise, they get like weird and transparent and ugh. Yeah, just hang out and chill. Also, for those of you who were around for yesterday's stream, short though it was, the thing that caused my whole fucking PC to freeze and everything, my whole freaking program to freeze, which by the way, performed admirably in the end and even saved all of the progress that I had on the painting. So I take back every bad thing I've said about the program. But the thing that caused it was the Windows update just hanging there. Just eating up all the resources, going, hey buddy, you wanna update me? My brain is just a very noisy place. Trust me, you wouldn't like it. It's actually shocking that I get to focus on anything. I have ADHD too, and all the voices in my head. Why the fuck do you think I'm working on 5 different comics and a novel? I do have the benefit of being able to focus on each one of them when I'm actually doing them, though, because I do have a massive like just love for these projects. Bless you. Vegeta, what does the counter say? Alas, the counter command is limited to the mods. Well, the mod. Who's out there slacking off, not having a fucking uh, sound activated. The, the worst. The worst. Soleil Tristis. Soleil Tristis. Oh yeah, no, she's fine. She just has an occasional sneeze every now and then because I don't know, deviated septum? Let's go with that. Allergies, perhaps? Yeah, that too. Yeah. Every day I'm suffering. Light sensitivity? Oh, I don't think it's light sensitivity. We barely have any. We're doing our best to completely destroy our eyes in the next 5 years. Thankfully, we're moving soon, so we're gonna have a better situation with light. Much better. Yeah. Okay, so this. God, I love it. I just discovered a few days ago that this that Clip Studio has that kind of a smudge that I need for my actual ink work. You know, the one that pulls perfectly with no it just has no like pressure, just has the shape, so I can just pull 100%. With what? No, no, no. Sometimes liquify is not the thing that you need. This is something that I do specifically in my process. Yeah, which is one of the big reasons why I couldn't use a lot of the later Photoshops, because they kind of fucked that up. And here you just use the fingertip. The fingertip.
That's a good tip. You guys see what
the shit I have to deal with daily basis. Well, silly and not safe for work is very much on brand here. And since I'm not really concerned about being a YouTuber and pleasing the algorithm of this place, I don't give a shit. I don't give a flying fuck. Yeah, that stupid joke is so good.
He's a man of ambition.
Yeah, listen, he knows what needs to be done. He's a very professional man. He understands his duties and tends to them. No, I said no, as in please no. I thank you. Sure. Bum, bum, boom. Ba, 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what it is about this music, but sometimes it just really works for me. It just kind of completely unchecks the brain. I gotta make some fucked up, dry, matted, blood-stained hair that's just been through shit. Thank you. Yep, more letters. Man, I really have been cooking up a storm these past few weeks, like just between letters and between fine print, like, oh god. I'm like a freaking Oppenheimer over here assembling drama bombs. Well, I have every intention to finishing at least some of them by the time I die, so ain't no stopping this until then. Man, it occurs to me that I'm sounding kind of morbid when I say that, but like I just mean that like, it's like you have a lot of things planned and listed on your to-do list, and it's a really long fucking list. It's gonna take about 20 years, so that's what I mean by that. It's between 20 volumes of Sunstone and Fine Print and Death Vigil and freaking Queen of the Woodbourne, and who knows, maybe Shield Maidens if Death Vigil fails. Like, I have a long-term stuff lined up, and then of course there's all 3 volumes of Letters to the Vampire Queen, because it has to be a trilogy, otherwise you're not a writer. And hell, if Letters to the Vampire Queen is a success and people actually like it and like it actually makes fucking money, I might actually fucking go crazy and go and make Ravine into a novel. Hey, Sculptor. Who the fuck knows? Anything is possible. Well, depends. depends on whether or not I get to the second, third, because like I want to do the next 200 something pages done. So let's say I'd have to be like at around 420. Blaze it. That's about the page count that I'm kind of locking on for the next batch. Or then again, maybe not. Like it really depends on like it's like yeah, I gotta say like it's not a cheap thing to get the audiobook produced. I will let's put it like this, okay? If the Patreon keeps going the way it's going, yeah, there's gonna be a next batch. I don't give a shit. Because like at that point, like I can afford another gift for my patrons, because I can't complain. Yeah, exactly. You're never gonna be a true writer. What's this? A single story novel? Just, go eat at the kids' table. Would I ever consider handing one of my comics off to another artist and just do the writing? Yeah, sure, but they'd have to be an artist who, I trusted to actually sit down and finish a massive ass, story. Because the problem is I don't like I can write an 8-page story and make it impactful. I've done that. But more often than not, my stories tend to be like, so here's the next 1200 pages. Yeah, at this point, Shield Maidens basically are dependent on whether or not Death Vigil succeeds as a book. Because if Death Vigil 2's sales numbers are kind of crap, yeah, I can no longer justify working on that series. So at that point, I'm gonna have to make some harsh cuts again. Hate doing those. It hurt when I had to do it to Twitch. Fucking hurt like hell when I had to do it to Ravine, so never a pleasant thing, but at the end of the day, I can't allow myself to punish the audience that actually is there for my other work by making them wait while I'm working on some ego project, So, we are going to see. I am going to make this also very clear once I start promoting the publication of Death Vigil 2, just so that there's no mistake. I don't want people to come back to me later on going like, well, we didn't know. It was everywhere. You knew. Because again, that's one of those reasons why I'm so annoyed always when I see people, never talking about the stuff they like, but just fucking blasting everything they hate. It's like Jesus Christ, do you have a personality? Like personality doesn't consist of all the things that you don't like. What's the shit that you like, damn it? Do you like anything? No, I mean, just like nothing sucks yet. We'll see. Like I said, maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Who the fuck knows? I make there is no such thing as a sure bet in this line of work. You can have 50 bestsellers behind you, and the 51st is gonna flop. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's 100% success rate. I'm super sure about Letters of the Vampire Queen being an absolute success as well. Yep. hmm No panic attacks and fucking moments of insecurity and imposter syndrome just completely crushing my ability to create. None whatsoever. It's gonna be brilliant. It's gonna work out fine. And the funny thing is, like, it just might. That's the fucked up part. You never know. You have to put yourself out there every single time, over and over again. Faceplant after faceplant after faceplant until one day, by some fucking weird miracle and celestial alignment, you make something that resonates with people and they start talking about it. And you're like, wait, what? This is the one? Uh, I haven't been watching anything that much recently. Nothing new. I'll be going through a rewatch of Vox Machina for with Linda just so that she can watch the third season with me as well. So I haven't started the third season yet. And what else? Mm, honestly, nothing. I've been just kind of rewatching some old movies, and I watched Beetlejuice in cinema recently. That's about it. I am eagerly awaiting for Castlevania Nocturne, though. I mean, people will complain about anything. I found Nocturne to be fun. The first part is a bit slower on the hero side, but it's really intense on the villain side, so it's very cool. I really liked it. Sorry, when I say first part, I mean the first part of the first season, and then it picks up by the end like a lot. It goes hard by the end. It's very cool. So yeah, I'm very, very, very hyped about the second one. I hope it has the viewership for more, because I've actually been enjoying those the shows a lot. Hell, I've been enjoying them enough to make fan arts, which for me is a massive rarity these days. I'd have to make original art first again. It's been a while since I've actually, like, these days I basically only do it on conventions when people come for sketches and stuff, because I don't have the arting space in my apartment. It's actually quite buried right now, because you do as many books as I do, and then they get translated in as many languages as they do, and all of a sudden you find yourself with an odd problem. It's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. And that is you literally have no room for shit, because just keep getting humps here and there, and it's like, oh, these are the addition of Sunstone. Oh, what's that? You did a cover for DC? Well, here you go, buddy. Oh, what's that? You did dozens of them? Oh boy. And it's like I said, it's a nice problem to have, but give it enough time and it's a problem. It becomes an actual problem. And yeah, enough time has passed, and I literally don't have time for space for anything anymore, including a nice, decent drawing desk. There's no fucking way. thinking about actual auctioning some of that stuff someday. I don't know. Seems like a lot of extra work. Like I've actually considered, like I got a massive French edition of Harleen hardcover, and I mean like massive. That this thing is ridiculously large. And a part of me kind of is like I can actually do a cool drawing inside of it because it's got like this uh, inside part that's like these large, massive red papers that I can actually use and draw on. So that one's kind of nice, and I could use that, but uh, I don't know. Still not sure. Well, the Cupids and the Cupid both have they're both sort of classification of personal gods, as in they are the ones who work one to one with humans. So as such, they've adopted a lot of human customs in order to relate to them better. So they do have the institution of marriage that's treated somewhat differently, you know, since Cupids they're not like big on well sex officially, so theirs is a binding of hearts, you know, so theirs is a sort of a, shall we say, a sexless marriage. While with Cupid they tend to reproduce like rabbits sometimes. So, yeah. Still, some of the standard things within marriages stand, so that one person can take another person's last name. And, like these last names are kind of self-appointed, and you know, they're theirs, so they're basically, you know, they have the ability to share them. Except with QB, you have to earn that right. You have to earn the right to marry. While with Cupids, it's a given right. So it's a very different environment altogether. So for instance, if Lelia was to cross over, become a Cupid, yeah, no problem. Eureka could marry her. But you know, there is a slight hiccup in all of that. That is the fact that, you know, Eureka may or may not have promised herself to somebody already. And unfortunately for that situation, Eureka is going through a massive existential crisis right now. That's about to fucking rock her life. Because she has decided to ask the question that is best left unexamined. If a god of love's nature is to love, which it is, how do they differentiate real love from love that is just their nature? And this is where it gets messy. Because the way Cupids work, Cupids aren't the gods of love in a way that we kind of imagine them, where it's like, oh hey, they'll shoot your heart and then you fall in love. No, their thing is actually quite the opposite. They find broken-hearted humans, share love with them, and help them mend the breaking of their heart. And through their contracts, basically, they plant the seed within that heart to bind it with its roots, and then they take away the heartbreak. They carry it on they carry it over to themselves, and then they leave the human, and that human is ready to love again. You know, they're like they had a wonderful thing with this person, and they feel so much better. It's kind of like one of those rebound relationships that just kind of like, you know, there was nothing serious about it, but it was just what I needed. That's a Cupid. That's what they do. And then they take that heartbreak with them. They take the heartbreak and then take the seed. They give the seed to their superiors to plant it to create ambrosia, and then the heartbreak, they go into the river Leth. It is one of the great Greek mythology rivers. It is a river of forgetfulness, river that helps you forget, to let go of things, right? And they wash themselves in the river Leth and wash away the heartbreak. So that's how it's supposed to work with them. Except it's about to get a little bit more complicated. Are all Cubist children of Archibald? No, named ones are, as in like the ones that have like there's families of Arcubi, and like they're considered basically nobility, even though their children still have to work their way up if they want to go, you know, to that title. Uh, a lot of the QB are basically what's called orgy spawn, as in, you know, they'll have an orgy which is a very common thing. They're just kind of, it is just polite. And, sometimes they overcommit and oops, you know, a, li- a little horny baby is made. The birds and the bees and the butterflies. And orgy spawn usually when they're born, like they're trained as everybody else. They go through everything. But generally they don't have a last name of their own, so they tend to make one up. So Lelia Ashen is the self-proclaimed, self-given last name. For instance, Lelia has no idea who her parents are. Mm, mm, mm. Also, ironically, QB are big on having children. Cupids aren't. You'd think that gods of love would be like, oh my god, a baby. But they aren't. They're weird. Because what this story is going to show is love isn't just good. Love is at times a problem, at times a big problem, and love is at times quite harmful. And all of that stuff is gonna get explored. Like, there's a reason why Fine Print is 7 volumes long, and like a part of me is like, yo, 8 though? Still gonna try to put it all in 7 just because, I don't need scope creep. Because of the 7 phases writing, I don't know what that is. No, I'm just trying to contain it to 7 because I've outlined 7. save. Okay, give me 1 second. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Oh, I see. No, you're getting the names right, and no, Eureka didn't remind her of Aluria. This is for Lelaya. This was just like just anybody will do. It was just a sheer coincidence that she ended up hooking up with Eureka. Well, okay, technically Eureka picked her, like I said. But this whole story is very big on the concept of the whole fate and the butterfly and all that shit. Butterfly flaps its wings. Yep. Plus, it is a symbol of Psyche, who was Eris's love. But all I can say is there are things planted right now in the story that, like, the payoffs are gonna be insane. Hell, even the simple fact that I have Anubis in this story, right? And like people will be like, well, it's just because you needed a popular god more to add into the mix, and all those things. Like, no, no, God, no. Anubis is gonna be way more important than anybody could possibly imagine. It's gonna be such a fucking good payoff. Holy shit. Mm. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. That's why I added him. Yeah, nothing but a silly furry joke. Stargate confirmed exactly. Finale of this is Aliens Land. Just immediately, the next moment, I get fucking the email from Studio Trigger. You have an unexpected and completely unjustified appearance of aliens in this story that completely derails everything. We would like to talk with you about making an anime. I love Studio Trigger, but they do have a tendency of just kind of pulling aliens out of nowhere. Like, here's the story. All right, cool, cool, cool. What's the actual villain? Aliens. I don't think it counts as furries if they're aliens. I think aliens outrank the concept of a furry because like they're aliens. Like you can't really, you know. That's just who they are. At that point, it's like, yeah, is Chewbacca a furry? I don't think he's just an alien. Yeah. I still remember making concepts for like I was gonna make a werewolf comic at some point. It was gonna be like really highly realistic, and but in the end never basically took that shot. Still, the concepts were kind of cool. Uh, this one, I had like different studies for like different structures of the face. I was gonna. I had more. There were like more with like more traditionally elongated snouts as well. So I would have like different types of like the ones with shorter snout would have a really strong bite, like hyenas and stuff like that. That's cool stuff, but never really got around to any of it. Mm, 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 mm. Do I hate having free time? Yes. I keep myself busy, but I keep myself busy because I love doing this. Mm, mm, mm. Because one of my biggest, most fortunate things in life was the fact that I got into a position where I can do a thing that I love doing and be paid for it, make that my job. And yeah, ever since then, here I am doing my thing. Mm. File save. Okay, that's nice progress on this one. Now let's see. I always try to keep multiple pieces progressing at the same time. That way I get to rest my eyes from each and every one of them and actually have a clear idea what needs fixing. Because one of those things when you do a piece on its own for a long time is you lose track of what you're doing wrong. Which one is this? Oh, it's this one. Okay. Not in a mood for this one because I'm not sure that this one's even gonna make it. Where is the... Let's see this one. And now the funny thing is, this was all done before I've actually established some things in the story. So some tweaks have to be made. Which one is it? This one. Okay, I got to wash, I got to size, yes, size I want. Yeah, and especially like, the book itself is gonna have like if it's a failure on a crowdfunder, it's gonna have like 40 illustrations. If it's a full-on success, it's gonna have like 70. So I gotta, you know, I got a lot of them to work on at the same time. But some of them have been done already, so I have like 3 or 4 completed. I have like 5 or 6 more of them almost done. So by the time we get there, like by the time the novel is done and I open the Kickstarter, I'm gonna have the basic 40 probably completed fully. Who's my favorite character I've ever written? That's a problem. It keeps jumping, Like that's one of those things where it's like you're vibing with one character story and then starts a different thing and you're doing a different thing and then you know you commit to that one and you realize, oh shit, like this is a much better character than I ever expected it to be. Yeah, the moment I got like I've been having a problem figuring out whether or not I like what I'm making at all, because it's a problem when you're a writer. You at times tend to be so overly self-critical that it's like you completely lose track of what you're trying to do. And the moment I got the audiobook version of it, of the first, what is it, like first 27 or so chapters, and I put it on, and I braced myself for the cringe, because like that's my reaction to all of the stuff that I make. But then it started, and I'm like, oh, And then it kept going, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna draw while I'm listening to this. But at some time, I stopped drawing, and I'm just like sitting and like vibing with the novel so hard, and I'm like, holy shit! I don't just like this. I fucking adore this. What the fuck? So yeah, I'm feeling pretty fucking good about it. We'll see how it does on Crowdfunder, because like I said, you know, when a person's trying to crowdfund their first novel, I don't really I don't really expect massive success. I'm gonna be real. But if we end up getting it made and people like it, I will be very happy. Yeah, Mary Robinette did a fucking amazing job with it. Holy shit. Yeah, Gouache Brush is fucking amazing. I mean, like it's all basically about how much amount of paint you want, like whether or not it's gonna do more blending than painting or painting than blending. So you kind of fiddle with that as you do the work, and it's just. Mm. Mm. I'll take his nipples. Oh, I see. Layer, duplicate. Okay, now this one's a problem. When do I consider a painting good enough to be done? When it's kind of consistent throughout. Like if it's fully everything is detailed painting, it has to be everything is detailed painting. If it's detailed enough, you know. If it's one of those where I want to focus on a thing in the front plane, it's okay for the background to be blurry and all that. Yeah, so you kind of basically pick and choose what you need from a painting to be. There's different ways to finish a painting. Finish never means perfect. It means, you know, finished, like where you can take a look at it and go like, yes, this feels consistent. This feels like it everything belongs. in the way it's done. And while there's always room for improvement, at the end of the day, you have to call it done. It's not a dick question. Is that what you're still going? Yeah. Book 2 is gonna be released next year. And then past that point, we'll see if it's still going. Right now I have, let's see how many pages. LSD. So here we have, this is 138 plus this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 144 pages of it done, and it's gonna be about 190 or so for the second book. So a few more months of work. When I'm drawing characters, do you have in mind that they have to feel sexy, or is it just the way you draw? I mean, you were constantly looking for the sex appeal. No, I just kind of draw. Like, here's the thing: you can make anything look appealing. Like, it's a matter of presentation, really. Like, it's not really something that I strive for actively. It's just something that comes naturally to me, where it's like, I'll pick a cool looking angle, and under a cool angle, even an unappealing person visually can look really cool. And then, you give them confidence, you give them this and that, and all of a sudden, you have a different outlook on somebody who you considered, a nothing character. It's basically that. I've never released an art book. No, not specifically. Like there was, like I was part of an art book, but like never one of mine. I've considered doing that. I intend to do that at some point. It's just lack of time, really. Have I done turnarounds and character sheets with their psychological features for my own character, or do they just come alive when I'm drawing them? They come alive when I'm drawing them. It's more kind of a matter of instinct. But I'll be real with you. Like turnaround and character sheets with psychological traits would be a fucking better approach. You know, at least it would help me keep the portraits, very more consistent. Like, you know without relying on like exaggerated proportions of and elements like that. So yeah. But again, you know what? It's not something that I care too deeply about because it's one of those things where I know that over time I'll get better at it. So at the end of the day, any flaw in the art is just a certain amount of practice away from being fixed. So I am a patient man. I know I work a lot, I know I work hard, and at some point, whatever flaw I have, it's gonna crystallize itself. I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna advance. And until then, I'm just gonna enjoy the journey. The sexy tech, does it apply the same way also in the scary area? Yeah, it's again presentation. Megamind was right. You want something done properly, you have to have the presentation. You can have the scariest monster in this without in bad illumination that doesn't work for it, or like badly posed, and all of a sudden it's just kind of like a mangled, just a bunch of like, you know, textures and parts and whatever the fuck stapled together, and you just look at them and like, yeah, okay, you know. But you give that thing presentation, and all of a sudden, even the silliest of designs can look really appealing, really interesting, really intriguing. So that's about it. It's all how you present it. All right, I think I'm gonna go now because I'm hungry and I need more coffee. And then later, I gotta swap back to doing a whole lot of fucking fine print because this update is gonna be larger than usual.